So, have you guys heard about John Michael Kelly?
Passing destination. Primo. Activate the strike clones.
I tried to stay away from drama on my show.
No, fuck off, Cog. Maybe later. So where to start? John Michael Kelly, also known as Vazorium, has been around for a while now, since Gamergate days. If you haven't been paying attention, he decided to buy a one-way ticket to retardation recently, when he did not one but two streams breaking down his evidence, or more likely conspiracy theories, about how I was working for Ralph since July to bring down Cog. Yes, it's as retarded as it sounds, and there's a lot more to cover. We will briefly look over some of the other lore surrounding him, why his name is Crybaby Kelly, and of course, breaking down his poor attempts at logic with the two streams about my Drama Queen video, responses, and of course Cog.
That's called getting cooked to the internet, guys. We've got to accept
No,
it.
fuck off, Cog. I don't have time to do that video at the moment. This is going to be fun, so strap in and prepare for gut-wrenching intestination.
Random intestination.
But first, a word from our sponsor. Me. Because I need money.
And how are we doing today, kiddies? Because everybody needs that merch and the Cog cut in a roll by Issa Rebs. This is the t-shirt that you need to be wearing because I need money and the kit's on sale for this weekend only. And still the price is pretty cheap. I don't care because I make profit out of it. That's what I want. We've got mugs as well. Get them on the market. Why not? Everybody loves mugs. Kids t-shirts with Cog getting cut in a row. Yeah, why not? That's not disgusting at all. Cat pictures, cat stickers, cat tank tops. Everybody loves cats. How could you not? You've got my logo. Oh, you've got this fantastic thing with EarJuice and he's got the belt buckle. Look at those stickers. Oh my god, I need one now. Roll on up, we need that merch. Everybody get over there and buy that merch because I'm just doing this all for money. That's why I do these things. What's that? Oh, the doodle is fantastic. Back up to you. I need so much merch. Stickers galore. I wish I had a tablet that looked as good as that. If only I had those stickers. For only $3. Oh my god, back up there, you cushions. The pictures don't even fit, but why not just buy one? Buy two.
Appreciate anybody pumping my face.
Yeah, John Kelly. He's an incredible imbecile. He's handed the information, the correct information, and he still manages to fuck everything up and get everything dead wrong. Good job, buddy.
Well, why don't you test your luck?
So before getting into the streams that John Kelly did about my character, Hef, Stretch, and the whole Drama Queen and Cog video and drama, I thought we would take a quick look over some of the John Kelly lore with the help of my best friend Spectre. Now really, I've only actually spoken to Spectre a few times in the past, but since John seems to have a hate boner for him and accused Stretch of not only knowing who he was, but sending him screenshots, why not add to the salt? But also Spectre is frequently found on the Nicricated Discord and knows quite a lot about that lore as well, with even a larger salt factory processing and a much larger hate boner from the poor retarded John.
I know that he was a Spur who tried to get into Gamergate and Comicsgate And in both instances, he was just laughed the hell out of both. Gamergate, he was known as a spurg. He was laughed out throughout the entire thing. He ended up going kind of anti-Gamergate. He actually did some Medium article or something where he accused the guy who owned 8chan of being like a domestic terrorist or something like that. But there was a guy who was saying that he directly doxed Nick Rekieta and a guy who was a Patreon supporter of Nick's on Nick's stream. That was said on John Michael Kelly's Discord. So he does this thing where he says, oh, people are, talking about doxing people on Nick's Discord. He's running a doxing server, but then you turn around and show that, and he's just quiet.
Yeah.
He shuts up.
Because I don't know about Nick Rekieta lore too much. I thought I'd jump in because I was making the songs and things like that. Then all of a sudden the server name was changed to the doxing server, and everybody had their name changed to put dox in it. Like the mods were just doing it as a bit of a joke, as a bit of fun. Was that all because of John Michael Kelly?
It was all because John Michael Kelly was on a tear claiming that a doxing server was happening. It's 100% a joke. And John Michael Kelly couldn't understand that. He's like, at least they're accepting that I'm right. It's like, no, we're making fun of you. We're talking about how much of a friggin' low IQ individual you are, and we're having fun at your expense. Nothing else.
So when you get the response, if you win your stupid motion to get the court to make me produce this, let me just preview it for you. There are none, you idiots. I don't dox people. You do. Oh my God, I should maybe just produce the communications I have with any Kiwi Farms member, even though they wouldn't relate to doxing, just for the sheer volume of them calling you stupid cucks that would exist. I certainly haven't given out any identifying information because I don't do that. I've said it over and over. And if you think you're going to catch me in some sort of weird lie on it, that now I have to produce it, I can't. There isn't anything.
Yep, that's Nick lying his ass off, as you can clearly see, as I clearly demonstrate in this stream. The thing is, in a technical sense, he's not even lying. He's lying by omission. Because what Nick is doing is he's promoting and encouraging all of his fans. He's using his audience, his influence, to go ahead and encourage them and put the idea in their heads to go ahead and take action that is beneficial to him. He's using that admiration that e-celebs get to themselves, because a lot of these people, a lot of them are shut-ins, a lot of them are neats, a lot of them are just weirdos. A lot of people who speak up and are vocal about this shit, they're weird, autistic, spurgy weirdos. That's the way it is at the end of the day. And yeah, I realize that, I'm not exactly a normal person myself. That's kind of the joke here. Now, here's the thing about this. This implies that there's more of a conversation here that we're not privy to. Meaning, Nick invited this guy here. Nick can try to wiggle around this all he likes. He's going to come up with like 10 different types of excuses. Maybe he'll try to fly two or three at once. And then he'll try to like sneak around it. But no, it's clear. Like, what would he be talking about? Oh shit, I had to double check to make sure it's the real you and not a bot. Low key, I feel like I've just doxed myself to Nick. Thus, the doxer becomes a dox. That doesn't really make any sense here, unless there's a prior history between these two individuals. That's the only explanation that makes sense. And we've seen Nick make up shit to get people out of trouble before. We know it, you know it, we all know it. Oh, by the way, just a little heads up. There's a lot of people here who like have changed their names to like dox this and dox that, and like a lot of doxy jokes and references, because the joke is, oh, we're totally not doxing people, guys. That's not what we're doing. That's totally made up. Okay, like that's a conspiracy theory. We're not doxers. Okay, Nick said so. He doesn't dox people. He wouldn't have this going on in his server. All right.
John Michael Kelly is one of those people. He's one of those people who thinks that anything he says actually has merit. He thinks that anything he says is 100% true, period, end of discussion. And thus, he should be taken more seriously than he is. He doesn't understand why nobody really takes him seriously. you see this a lot with a lot of YouTube personalities overall. Ethan Ralph, Cog, and they take their popularity, or they take that momentary popularity and they transfer that to, I must be more important than I really am. So that's why when you start criticizing someone like JMK or Ralph or Cog, they don't respond to the criticism that's itself. You know, they do a lot of whataboutism, where they say, well, what about this? Or they try to deflect away from it. We saw that with Cog Spurg stream, for example. He doesn't talk about the actual claims being made. You know, Ralph calling him a cuck. He doesn't really talk about that. He goes, well, Ralph, you watch cuck porn. You watch this, and this. You do this. Your wife's living over in freaking England while you're in the United States getting boned by Muhammad. You see it all the time. And that's exactly how JMK thinks. If he were to actually pull in people, I'll say this right now, he would become another Ralph. And it's funny because he's already another Ralph. We've all heard the stream where he literally cries because he's told, shut the fuck up.
So for those of you who haven't heard the now famous audio, here is a quick snippet. Now this was from 2016, where a Sargon fan and homosexual, also John Kelly is a massive homophobe, making this even more hilarious, bored him to tears and basically broke down his character, saying the same things I and others have said or are going to say within this video. So it seems clear that although crying, remorseful, and adamant to change, in the audio, John hasn't learnt from his past mistakes, and the character pattern is there and remains the same.
Well, I'm not admitting I'm wrong, because I don't view the world.
Exactly, you can't admit when you're wrong, John.
You never because I'm not wrong.
Yeah, never.
Exactly,
never.
You can't admit when you're wrong either.
Never wrong. John, you are my birthday cake. It's just too sad I can't apply frosting.
So Beardball is having his.
Go ahead. Fine, you go ahead and keep believing that when you're fucking a man.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm fucking a man. And I love how mad you get that you have to sing to such a level.
And I love how mad you're getting. You know what? I'll admit.
You've backed yourself into a corner and you have no argument that'll pull you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Here, let's take this another direction. John.
Shut
up! Hold on. Let's take this in a different direction.
Shut up! Just shut up! Just let me talk.
No, fuck you. I'm not gonna let you talk. You think you fucking own us?
Yeah, really.
I'm
seriously.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All
No,
right.
stop
I
fucking
apologize. I apologize. All right.
No, fuck you. I don't. No. There's no stopping.
Stop, please.
No.
I beg you. I apologize. I apologize. I can't take it. I really can't. It's like this every day.
Then go. Bye
I'm
now.
not going. I'm not leaving. I just want you to just stop, please. I'm begging you. Please.
Ain't gonna happen. And John, you're really bad at faking.
I'm not faking. Please.
Oh well. Well then, if you're not faking, maybe you should take your little pussy ass to bed.
Oh, fuck!
Because if this is enough to make you just fucking lose your shit, I have been nothing but civil. You've been the one throwing all the right jabs, talking about how I'm fucking a man that just pretends to be a woman, purposefully trying to get under my skin. You've been the one that's tried every underhanded tactic fucking possible to try to one-up me, when you aren't worth the fucking salt, buddy.
And
don't shake a
one
stick
that's saying that you're the one trying to troll Beardmo.
And the thing is, you're not half the man I am. You never will be.
Then what
You'll never amount to a damn thing.
Why do you keep on? Why?
Because it's hilarious. This is great.
Then what can I do to change that? What can I do to change that then? Just please level with me. Just
stop being a piece of shit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. I just
no. There's no apologizing needed. Just stop being a piece of shit.
Then how do I do that? Just tell me. Please.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe fucking listen to every person that tells you you're an idiot and ask them why they think that, and actually take that into consideration.
I do take that into consideration.
No, you don't, because you don't fucking change.
I really do.
John.
No, you don't understand. Please. It's like
obviously we've had a breakthrough here. Maybe you should go to bed, ruminate, and think about your life.
I'm not leaving. I'm not doing that. Just please tell me what I can do to be better.
To be better? Oh, I don't know. Maybe take a page from fucking Archon's book here. Learn to listen to arguments instead of trying to pick them apart. Stop interrupting people at every fucking step. Stop trying to make your point the only point that can be said at any point.
All right.
Maybe try to be a fucking human being. Maybe stop being such a little pathetic piece of shit, trash, little punk bitch-ass boy. Maybe learn to be a man. Step out and get a real fucking job.
Okay.
Try to do something with your fucking
Fine,
life.
fine. Just I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really am. I just,
If you need, look, no, you're not sorry, but you
I'll
are
do
sorry.
what you say. Just please stop it.
Please stop what, John?
Please.
Telling you the truth? Please stop treating you like a fucking
I admit I'm
adult.
horrible. I'm horrible, all right? I admit I'm horrible. I do horrible things all the time. I do them because I just want to change things.
You just want attention, John.
I don't want attention.
Yes, you do, John.
I
That's
just
the
don't-
first. Look, the first part is
look.
getting past the denial. You've got to get past the denial. If you want to change yourself and you actually want to get better, you've got to realize you do this for the attention. You do this and you purposefully take people's arguments out of context. You purposefully pick apart shit and try to twist shit in awkward ways so you can get the attention, so you can be the better man, so you can win your little internet debates, John. That's all it is. It's just another notch on the
That's what
belt.
you do as well. You do the same thing. You just do it this entire
No, John.
time. Yes,
No.
you have been. Yes, you have been. Yes, you have.
Really?
You have.
Really?
Yes,
I thought you
have.
said you were going to get better, John.
I'll
You're not doing very well so far.
please, can you just drop it?
No.
Why
I'll drop
can't-
it when you leave.
I'm staying. I'm not leaving.
Okay, then.
That's
Well,
the
I'm
one
not
thing we're supposed to
stopping.
do. I'm not going to leave just because you say so. Just please,
Okay, so
please
okay,
stop.
so
Please. I beg you.
I'd
please.
actually like to get back to a topic of discussion. here for a
I'd
second.
like you to please stop. All right. I don't know what I did to piss you off this way. It's just I can't.
John,
not
I'm not
very-
pissed. Look
I'm-
here.
I know. I'm
you've
not
said
saying
it
you're
a million
pissed. I'm not
times.
saying that. Just stop it.
You
Stop.
just literally said I was pissed.
I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't know what.
Apologies do jack shit, John. Apologies do nothing.
What am I to learn from this?
Deeds, not
What am
words,
I to
sir.
learn- What am I to learn from this? Exactly.
I don't know, maybe delete your fucking account on
I'm not
Twitter.
deleting. I'm not doing that. Please don't tell
Maybe
me to do
stop
things I'm
making
not going to do.
fucking...
The
Maybe
one
stop
thing I
making
want you to stop.
John,
that are
you're
more
asking
fucking
him.
half-truth.
You're asking
The
him
one-
what you should do, but you're saying no. I'm not going to do that when he tells you what to do.
No, please stop it. Why do you take pleasure from me? I don't get this.
I know that you're fucking faggots, and I'll take the brunt of all of you fucking
God damn
cunts.
it, Cog. Get out of my video. What are you doing? Wait a minute.
Oof.
Cog, listen to John Kelly?
Oof.
And he's going to be part of this law video after all?
Oof.
And going to make it into the end.
That's called getting cooked to the internet, guys. We've got to accept it.
We just read about those history books, you know? And I thought, I want to beautify it because maybe one day it'll be.
Back to Spectre!
You look at John Michael Kelly's streams, he doesn't show context. When he was trying to claim that the doxing server thing, for example, he literally types in the word dox in the search function on Discord, and then he just takes a screenshot of the word dox and say, oh, they're talking about doxing. For example, he took a screenshot from 2018 in which Nick Ricada says, I don't think I could pay you for dox. I don't think I could ethically or legally pay you for dox. He says this to a guy named Doink on the server. And
in legal documents.
Right. He's like, oh, well, look at this. Nick Ricada's talking about doxing.
Like, I tried to correct him. And yeah,
If you call him out of the context thing, his response is always, I don't need context. Context doesn't matter.
Now, to be fair to John Kelly, there was one instance where Spectre did post a link to John's docs in the Nick Ricada Discord. My guess is that Nick really wouldn't appreciated that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I've also found times where John Kelly has doxed people, or people have talked about him doing IRL stuff. And just so we're clear, no John Kelly doxes or pictures will be linked or shown in this video because I disavow all of that IRL type behavior and hope that it stops and doesn't happen.
And remember, Nick participated in this by promoting Spectre's little poll. Did Nick purposely seek this guy out because of the hit job he did on me? Did Spectre whisper in Nick's ear? I wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't. And again, you can't fucking trust these people. That's the truth of the matter. If you trust YouTubers, you're an idiot. I don't know how else to explain this to you. It happens over and over again. And then you keep on wondering, oh, I got all these knives in my back. How do I get all these knives in my back? Well, you trusted the YouTuber. And you did it so many times that you need to get spinal surgery.
So there was supposedly leaks coming out of Recator's Discord a few weeks back as well.
He ends up, pretty much being told, no, I literally do not want you on here. That's when he started doing the streams and saying, oh, Nick's running a doxing server. So what John Michael Kelly would do is he'd subscribe on Patreon on the 2nd, get access to the Discord, and then on the 30th or the 31st, whatever the last day is, he'd cancel his subscription, so he'd never pay. JMK wanted to run his little gay ops. He likes to claim other people are running gay ops, but then he shows that he has a second account, his second Discord account, specifically in Nick Recator's server, specifically for Nick's server.
Why does he hate Nick Recator so much? What is fundamentally that about?
JMK is a leftist, and he's trying to masquerade as alt-right and whatnot in order to try to shore up support. His big thing is he always wanted to be a personality on YouTube. He always wanted to be somebody who people respected and listened to, and he's never understood why people don't. He came into this entire thing, for example, wanting to be the anti-Nick. This was around the time that Mars Girl had said we need to start cultivating a YouTube presence to counter people like Nick Recator. And literally, as soon as she said that, probably a day or two later, JMK was blowing up Nick's Twitter saying, you need to have me on. He already did that with Shane Holmberg, and we all saw the glorious trash fire that was.
We're going to look at trying to get Nick's name to a point where cons are not laughing at the fact of bringing him in, that cons want to bring him in.
Nick doesn't want another one of those. He doesn't want to be part of internet blood sports. He doesn't want to do anything like that. If he's going to have a show, he wants it to be entertaining and informative. That's his big thing on YouTube. He's not looking to actually bring any truth or honesty to anything. He's a tabloid writer. That's the best way to put it. The minute you start calling him on his bullshit, his response was always, you don't know what you're talking about. Or it doesn't matter what the context is. If you're going to use anything that he said for Nick Recator's server, for example, just go back a little bit and you'll, generally speaking, see the context that he leaves out. There's a reason the guy doesn't pull in more than 10 people watching at a time. The only times he's ever had 20 to 30 people watching were when Nick Recator's Discord server would go in to troll him, and that's it.
Well, he had that today.
That's the only time.
And then he had a stream snipe and 2 people recording at least, as well as the other stream.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because we were all there just to laugh. Yeah. Stretch is my co-host, and he's the guy that had all the Drama Queen DMs and all the COG DMs. So he took screenshots of all of that, and that's what is mostly in my video about Drama Queen. And so Stretch says that in the YouTube comments on John Michael Kelly's video, and he says, well, what does he mean by this? Oh, well, look over here. Spectre is posting screenshots on Twitter. So that's what he thought that Stretch was taking screenshots of? It's like, dude, Stretch is, like, I'm confirming the story Stretch is also talking about. Stretch wouldn't even know who the fuck you are, I doubt. Like, do you know who Stretch is?
I've heard of Stretch. I've never interacted with him, so I can't say who he is.
Found a funny little thing. This is Stretch. He's a relevant character at this. It turns out that he had a hand in making the video. I leaked the screenshots. Your facts are fucked. Ha ha ha. What does he mean by that? Seems to me, based on some exceptional tweets by this individual, that he took some screenshots from the server and gave them to Spectre. I don't know if that's the case for sure. And timing of this seems really odd. And let's see if that's the case. And he's, of course, Spectre's going on about how this is the real John Kelly, uses bad words like kike and faggot. Yeah, because he's so progressive and tolerant. It's funny who's keeps on popping up in these kinds of situations.
After making my video exposing Drama Queen as an e-thought, who was not only having a relationship at the same time with 2 different men online, but was also married at the time, a complete firestorm of drama erupted online and especially on Twitter, since YouTuber wanker Cognitive Thought was one of the men involved. John Kelly watched the video and decided that the information that myself, Stretch and Hef had found and displayed seemed off, that the story wasn't organic in his mind, and was a smear piece of fake news intended to cause the destruction of Cognitive Thought's internet reputation, that he quite frankly destroyed all by himself after having an internet tantrum fit for an entitled whammon. John would then present his case via a live stream entitled Of Cucks and Clicks. Now there is a lot to cover, and when watching the stream you can really see his retarded thought process in action, which reminded me a whole lot of something very specific.
You know, I had an idea like that once, a long time ago.
Really? What was it, Tom?
Well, all right. It was a jump to conclusions mat. You see, it would be this mat that you would put on the floor and would have different conclusions written on it that you could jump to.
That is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life, Tom.
Yes, it's horrible, this idea.
So, for extra reading and hilarious entertainment, I do suggest watching the entire stream for yourself, along with the Drama Queen video for context if you haven't watched it yet. I've also left links for the other streams and videos used in this video below. Now, for those who don't know the long version of the story about how the Drama Queen information was discovered and brought to light, it is all broken down on an episode of FTW Tonight, link also below if you want to know more. But now, let's get into the John Kelly streams.
No, I thought there was some recent controversy that caught my eye, and I noticed a couple things that are interesting about that people are kind of overlooking. Because truthfully, I don't think this is an organic push of just, haha, something funny happened to Cog, let's all laugh at the guy while he's down. No, things hardly ever happen organically on the net, because especially in this, with these particular types of people that make these deliberate drama channels and feed off of each other. Generally speaking, what happens is they need to push these things to happen in order to get generate content and revenue. So let's take a little closer look. Like, why would I develop this rational inference, as you will, for this exactly? EarJuice, as far as I can tell, is some weird, I guess, furry music creator. I don't know much about him. His music, I listened to a sample of his music, and it's just it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. He calls his piece Rent Free. This is a rendition of it here, but like I listened to the original thing. It is just awful, man. I mean, you gotta improve your craft considerably, because I just wanted to take my ears off so they'd stop bleeding. But aside from his musical talent, which really isn't here or there, apparently he also likes to make a lot of videos about random nobodies and makes lots of drama channels, drama shit. Like he made fun of Ralph, Andy, whoever, this Uwe guy. Apparently Uwe is the type of guy who likes to hang around these e-celeb circles, and he latched onto Cog for some reason. And apparently Cog and this EarJuice guy like to bully him and make fun of him, and they did that for fun. I don't know if it was necessarily malicious. I don't know what the context is. I really don't know, and it's one of those things where I'll probably look into it and to see if there's anything there. But at the same time, it just, I don't get why certain people take enjoyment over what they do with certain people.
Where I was just trying to get PNG heads of COG so I could use them for within the video.
All that relevant for this stream, but it's a nice little Easter egg to show who's connected to who's talking to who, rubbing whose shoulder, stabbing who in the back. You know, that sort of casual thing that friends do to friends, where they just, you know, suck each other's dicks off until it becomes convenient to just throw each other under the bus, because that's a sign of normal, healthy, neurotypical type people.
He watched this so intently, and he was like, "Where's the screenshot?" I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll do it." Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All that relevant for this stream, but it's a nice little Easter egg to show who's connected to who's talking to who, rubbing whose shoulder, stabbing who in the back. You know, that sort of casual thing that friends do to friends, where they just, you know, suck each other's dicks off until it becomes convenient to just throw each other under the bus, because that's a sign of normal, healthy, neurotypical type people.
He watched this so intently. Wasn't really concerned. I went about doing my own thing. It was big nothing burgers. I was just having a laugh. But then a few weeks later, I made a...
Okay, I gotta pause right here. If this guy believes that this was such a big nothing burger, why did he record this conversation? Remember, this conversation takes place on July 29th. But why record it if it's nothing? To me, it seems like he's fishing for content. That's what it comes across. But let's watch some more of this.
Another memology mirror where I was directing some light banter at COG about Bitwave and what he had said about Bitwave. I posted it publicly without showing it to COG first, which I was supposed to show COG, so I basically hinted that I was going to be doing this video. And he got a bit angry and said that I wasn't representing what is... I was looking for her to come on my stream as a co-host, since we had planned to talk about makeup, and that she would be more...
Okay, I don't know much about this EarJuice guy. I'll probably learn more about him over the coming days. Why is he doing a makeup show? No, I'm legit asking, like, that's a really weird subject for a guy who looks like who seems to come across as an Aussie shitposter to want to talk about, especially since he admits that he doesn't know much about the subject matter. I don't know. People have these really weird idiosyncrasies. I just don't get it.
Knowledgeable person for that sort of thing, because I don't know anything about makeup. However, I then found out that she had gone offline because her husband...
COG is being a bit of a degenerate here. COG is doing all that, but this isn't some organic thing at all. Like, and here's the thing. Aside from, like, this guy having some kind of animosity due to unrelated issues with Bitwave and, like, having to take down a video at COG's request after he got mad at him and apparently that made him look bad, etc., there's something else that's really weird about. There's some other couple things. Number one, why did he record that conversation all the way back in July when he started making this video in October? That makes no sense. Like, if that, like, two, like, if this woman's really the target here, the subject, like, he was like I believe if you look back in the video, let me just take a look real quick. Let me check something, because there's another point I just remember that's important to emphasize here, which kind of paints a picture of what's going on, or what I think is going on. Yeah, he cuts away to here. Was it here? Let's see. Okay. So, had what he needed with the COG head, with the COG PNG file. So, he contacted COG under false pretenses. Like, he already had this file, and, like, this guy knows this, like, this guy might be shit. Like, look at this. It's right in the fucking video. He already had what he needed with the COG head, with the COG PNG file. So, he contacted COG under false pretenses. Like, he already had this file, and like this guy knows this. Like, this guy might be shit at like music, but he knows a thing or two about basic Photoshop skills. You mean to tell me that he can't take this image here and just cut around the edges there and just put it onto something? That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. This guy set this up. He set up and egged Cog on into this position, or at least that's the rational inference that I can gather from this. That's what it seems like. But I'm not done yet. That's not the only rational inference I've noticed here, because we got some Discord leaks now. Like, after everything's said and done, because actually I'm jumping ahead a couple steps. Let me see here. Let's see. That's relevant. It's irrelevant as well. Like, Ralph has jumped on this, of course. Ralph's jumped on this, and he's been shitting on Cog ever since, let's see, let's get the right date. I'm presuming that this is his first tweet. Maybe he made more tweets before. I'm not sure about that. Like, on October 14th, which I'll show in a second. Scrolling down here. Yeah, he jumped on the bandwagon as soon as the day the video was released. Right over here. Yep, he's gleefully tweeting about how he's going to get at Cog. And then he's going ahead and saying about how, and spending a lot of time on Twitter talking about how Cog's a cuck and making content for it on his show, which is so boring now that if we actually go to Ralph's timeline, what's the Gunt up to these days? It's irrelevant as well. Like, Ralph has jumped on this, of course. Ralph's jumped on this, and he's been shitting on Cog ever since, let's see, let's get the right date. I'm presuming that this is his first tweet. Maybe he made more tweets before. I'm not sure about that. Like, on October 14th, which I'll show in a second. Scrolling down here. Yeah, he jumped on the bandwagon as soon as the day the video was released. Right over here. Yep, he's gleefully tweeting about how he's going to get at Cog. And then he's going ahead and saying about how, and spending a lot of time on Twitter talking about how Cog's a cuck and making content for it on his show, which is so boring now that if we actually go to Ralph's timeline, what's the Gunt up to these days? Let's see. I want to just show it because this is funny to me. Remember, this guy ever so conveniently go after Cog in a rather underhanded way. Two people that are directly linked with Ralph. Like, that wouldn't be the case, would it? Actually, on the other hand, if I can just pull up the tweet real quick, which I will. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Actually, it's two tweets I want to show. Okay. All right, so let me go back to here in a moment. Let me just get the second tweet, just for a bit of, I think these two tweets show his disposition about him. Okay. No. That's not what I'm saying. Cog did not do nothing. He fucked up. Like, Cog should, like seriously, Cog, like, if you happen to be listening to this, why the fuck would you start a relationship with a girl on the internet? That's like some teenage level bullshit. You're like in your 30s. Like, don't date e-girls. Just don't do it. Like, the problem with online relationships is that, like, the moment that another guy comes, not when it's brought to light that EarJuice is lying about why he's contacting Cog back in July, LOL. No, I don't buy this. I don't buy that. Not when it comes not when it's brought to light that EarJuice is lying for this. I don't like Cog. It's fairly well known. He tried to smear me for months and is the king of dragging shit out. So to hear this from one of the members of his audience is fairly amusing. That being said, he did all this to himself. LOL. No, I don't buy this. I don't buy that. Not when it comes not when it's brought to light that EarJuice is lying about why he's contacting Cog back in July, basically chumming it up with the person that he's supposedly making a bad video on. Which, by the way, this drama queen bitch, she doesn't face any consequence in this. Like, she's a thought. She has no self-respect. She's willing to whore herself out to multiple guys at the same time, like, and just go behind their backs. Women like that don't have any self-respect, like anyone who does that, period, who has no self-respect for themselves, isn't going to be hurt by being the center of a tabloid news piece. We've seen this before. We saw this with the Pinecone chick. She did tons of degenerate and disgusting things that are shameful, that normal people would be like, gross, why would you do that? Why would you cheat on someone like that, etc.? Why would you, like, stick pine cones up your butt? We saw that, and she just went on more streams. So this drama queen person, who was also invited by Ralph on the show, I don't know if she showed up or not, but Ralph invited her on. She's not suffering any consequences from this. Cog's gonna get the brunt of it for being a cuck, and that's it. So yeah, so I'm gonna make another rational inference here. I don't know if it's proven. I don't know if I think proof exists if it's true. I think it's likely Ralph knew about certain things going on with this beforehand. I think that one time or at one point or another, he knew that this video was going to come out. He knew that these things were going on. I think he had a hand in this. I think that Cog got rat fucked. I think this was an op, or maybe one or two people acting sneakily behind the scenes. I think also that let's see. And also I think that's also interesting that what's his name? That Hef guy. I think it's also interesting that when I talked to the Hef guy, who's been a member of my Discord for Discord, not a very good member, but as I'm about to show, I think it's interesting the response he gave. Let me show that real quick, because this doesn't seem normal to me either. Just get that up. There we go. Okay, so this is when I first started hearing some of the stuff go on. And I still stand by what I said. Because, yeah, Hef is correct in some of the points he gave. But it seems weird to me that, remember, this Hef guy was in contact with EarJuice beforehand. He was featured in the thumbnails of several of EarJuice's videos. So I asked him, was that you, Cog, a hypocrite? Which, yes, Hef was right. Cog was spurging out and acting like a retard on stream multiple times, and he was complaining that people were shitting on him because if he was acting of his retardation. So yeah, he was right about Cog being a hypocrite. But I ruined him. I blew him out of his stream twice, then finished his Discord. That's not the weird thing that I noticed. The weird thing is this part here. It'll be a glorious dumpster fire when his house of cards finally crumbles in on itself. Okay. Alright. So we know that Hefatus is connected to the Plate Gang. We also know that Plate Gang was egging him on. And we know that Ralph in the past has worked with the Plate Gang. You can view it as on an earlier video on my channel. Medicare Fembot also has a stream recording on one of her channels of Zoom exposing all the dirty shit they did. Now, to be fair to Hef, he wasn't involved with that particularly. Maybe he's not involved in any ops of that. But maybe this shows an indication of it, but I don't know. It's a rational inference to me that I think he knows that there's more going on behind the scenes. I don't think this guy is as sharp of a knife as he thinks he is. And I don't think these people are particularly all that smart, considering that they leave evidence hanging right out in the open in their videos. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on this. And on top of that, I think it's about time that people knew more about Ralph. A lot more about him. Because, again, he's done this over and over and over again. And people are like, yeah, that's okay. You can get away with it. No. No, like if the skeptics deserve to be fucked over because of like their dumb Discord ops, then Ralph should go too. Like it shouldn't just be, oh well, Kraut was the only one. No, it's been proven that Ralph is fully willing to do the same things that he was calling Kraut on. And people are like, yeah, that's okay. Now, the funny thing about all this is because I've been listening to like there's some other video between Hef and Cog that's very interesting. That it's mostly bad for Cog, to be honest, in that one, but it's not good for Hef either in that recording. A debate between Hef and Cog on another stream. I might play some of that later, but there's something that Common Filth said. Common Filth was a rather radical Baptist type YouTuber, I guess is the best way I can describe him, who point out a lot of degenerate shit and lie about people. You can flag down their Twitters. You can say, swindle people for $250,000. You can dox people. You can lie about others. You can just have a completely fake persona in the internet, and no one will say anything because he didn't go against his own moral standards that he made up, and that's just fucking bullshit. Like, why would I don't get how it is that these people can call each other out, but there's no standards at all. And I don't buy this whole, it's all for the lulz. No, with these people, it's never just for the lulz. In fact, it's not. In fact, in most cases, it's not even primarily for the lulz, and sometimes it's not even for the lulz at all. They're not looking for a laugh. They're looking to lecture others. And it's cringy. It's not just cringy, it's just wrong. Like, and it's just such a weird freaking community these people have invented. And I'm going to emphasize again, Medicare not going after this shit, just going after the skeptics, is fucking hypocritical. Fucking hypocritical of all hell. Because there's no way, I'm not going to be convinced here. I'm not going to, do these streams, look at this shit. Even if Jim only has 10% of the knowledge I do about this stuff, he knows that there's fucking a slimy underbelly right in his own network. And he's just doing nothing about it. And that's the truth of the matter. And it just makes things kind of nihilistic and depressing and just makes me not even want to do these streams because it just seems that people don't learn. Okay. All right. I think that's enough about this shit for one night. I will say that despite all the forced humor, a lot of the stuff against Cog, there's legitimate points there because Cog, again, shouldn't be doing the dumb shit he's been doing. And he has been acting hypocritical. He has been acting like a degenerate. And honestly, it is funny hearing him spurg out on a lot of this stuff and go on about how not mad he is. Like, I'm fine with laughing at people. That's not the sin here. The problem is, it's like they're using the pretense of humor to just basically be utter dicks to each other. And it's just, why? All right. I guess that's it for tonight. Might go back to some more Nick stuff later. There hasn't been really any updates on that, so hasn't been much. I some people have sent me some stuff about it. I might go over that as well. There's one particular clip that I'm eager to play, and it'll be fun, and you'll see why it's funny later. Aside from that, I guess that's it. Y'all have a good night, and peace out.
He's an idiot. Anything he says, assume that the exact opposite is true. If he doesn't provide context, if somebody doesn't provide context on anything they're saying, then you know they're hiding something. You know their narrative cannot be what they're saying. The narrative has to be wrong. So I say this to everybody. When you see a narrative and there's no context, demand the context, because that's going to be more telling. That's going to show how honest someone is overall. And if they refuse to provide the context, what are you doing watching them?